I have argued with myself many times out loud and quietly. I refuse to believe that the wife and the husband were part of the scam. But every time I go back, I think about it, I'm like, I believe they were part of the scam. So once I tell it to you, you can decide if they were part of the scam or not. So the solicitor emails us the invoice. It's missing his last name. It just has his first name. We can't find him. And I'm like, what the hell is this? That's a big red flag. So I say to my partner, can you please reach out to him and ask him to send us the invoice with his last name? And like a good scammer, he obliges. He sends us the invoice because how would he get paid? And so this is the red flag. When somebody is scamming you, there is a turning point where you have to say, this doesn't feel right. Something is off about this. I'm just gonna pause and wait. So he obliged and he sent us an updated invoice with his last name. I Googled it, I didn't find nothing. So we went ahead and we wired him $8,500. We fly out to Dubai, me and my partner, because we need to have a UAE stamp. We meet him. He does our documentation for us. We sign our papers and we're like, hey, thank you so much. I do a YouTube video with him. How can you do a YouTube video with somebody that you know you're scamming? So he's on my YouTube channel from months ago. But this is where things get interesting. On our way to the office, I told my partner, can you ask him what law school did he graduate from? And so my partner asked him, what law school did you go to? And he says to us, I didn't finish law school. I knew it. This guy is not an attorney. He's an expert. Would I have paid an expert $17,000? Hell no. The interesting thing about Dubai is there are ways you can get away with committing these type of scams and not getting in trouble. So really, there's no crime committed here. Because if I say somebody's an attorney and they're not an attorney, and you think they're an attorney, and I purposely tell you they're an attorney just because I want to trick you, that's not really a crime. If that person says that they're an attorney, that's where the crime happens. So we get to Dubai with him. So we pay the $8,500, the balance to him. At that point, I don't know how much things cost. When I entered Dubai the second time without my partner to go set up the property, I meet with the influencer's wife. She sets up the property for us. Beautiful. And something is nagging at me because I'm like, I feel like these people really played us. Everything is done and I start to do my research. The first thing I do is head down to Dubai Mall and I say to the people at the DET who gives us the DTCM license, how much does it cost to get a trade license in Dubai for short-term rentals? It's $4,500. We paid him $11,000. I said, how much does it cost for an office? She's like, it costs about 1,500 USD. Okay, so how much does it cost for the Customer Happiness Center to do the visa for me? $950. So I'm counting up. I'm like, okay, 4,500 for the trade license, 1,500 for the office for the year, that's $6,000, 950 for the visa, that's $1,000, that's $7,000. We paid this bastard $17,000. His fee is $3,000. That's now 10. He still scammed us by 7. And I'm like, what the hell? I am going to speak to the influencer's wife about this. At this point, me and the influencer's wife are cool. I'm posting her and tagging her on social media. She has set up our place for us beautifully. She did an amazing job. I'm not going to take that away from her. I have to tell the influencer's wife who referred us to this guy that this guy is a sham. I messaged her. I said, hey, listen, this guy charges $17,000 for documents that cost $6,000. She was outraged. She was like, what? Are you joking? I'm so heartbroken. Please send me the invoice. Blah, 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 blah. I said, by the way, he's not a solicitor. Why did you introduce him as a solicitor? I don't know anybody here, so let me get all our license first, all our documents first, and then I'll say something to her and get her on our side so that we don't turn everybody against us. So at this point, I'm asking myself, is she in on the scam? I don't know till this day. So she messages him and says, hey, what's going on? Why did you overcharge our clients? First, we paid her 10K and then we paid him 17K when we should have paid him like 8K. So she's become the middle person to help us. And so she's like, Martine, you were our first client to do this Dubai thing. I am so heartbroken to hear that he did this. We've been using him for years. He's done all our documents. He offered to give you back $3,000. Now, there's one thing I know about scammers. If they offer to give you back $3,000, it's because they owe you 10. So I said to her, we're not accepting 3,000. We overpaid this guy by at the very least 7. So he has to give us back 5. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to him. At the end of the day, when I contacted the solicitor, he got the DTCM unit permit for me and tried to charge me another $300. I told him to go to hell. So after raising hell, he gave it to me without asking for any more money. So now I go to her again. I said, hey, I'm about to leave Dubai. We finally have straightened out this issue with the unit. After 6 weeks of being here, we signed our lease October 1st. By the time we listed the property and got our first guest, it was November 29th. So one beautiful morning after Thanksgiving, I get a very nasty message from the husband. I have no dealings with him. I never did business with him. I did business with his wife, the property locator, and the solicitor. He enters the chat. He tells me, do not speak to my wife anymore. You are stressing her out. I spoke to her 3 times about this on 3 different occasions. This week, that week, and that week, while I'm sitting there waiting for these documents to come through. After she offered the $3K, she wanted to wash her hands of me and told her husband to step in. I met this guy one time on photo shoot day. After the photo shoot, his wife messages me 2 days later to apologize because of a post he made. And I'm like, what is she talking about? She said, Martin, I'm really sorry about the post my husband made. I just wanted to apologize. And I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? Apologizing for what? So I go on his page, and this man posted on his page that he is managing my property and he made $1,000 for property that he doesn't own. I was like, what the fuck? This guy doesn't manage my property. We were not even allowed to list our property at that point because we still had that DTCM unit issue at Elite Residences because the Elite Residence folks told us we can't list it, we can't let any guests come in until we get the unit permit. So we're still waiting for our unit permit. So how can you be managing property that's non-existent? I was like, this motherfucker is posting fake shit online. I was like, oh my God, this guy's a full-blown liar. He sends me a WhatsApp. I want you to leave my wife alone. My wife doesn't want to communicate with you. You're stressing her out. I said nothing to him. I did not answer him for another 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I wake up and I said, I'm gonna handle this. I'm gonna message this guy and tell him what I think about him and his wife. I sent him a WhatsApp. I said, dear so-and-so, me and my partner are incredibly saddened to know that the 2 people that we trusted and looked up to are scammers. I have reason to believe that your wife is complicit in introducing us to someone who is not an attorney and passing him off as an attorney so you can make more money. Because the way your wife excused herself from the situation instead of helping us and is telling you to help us now, we have no business with you. So why are you stepping in as the enforcer? Do you know what he did? He sent me the Dubai Penal Code and told me to keep his name out of my mouth. This guy had the Dubai Penal Code on his phone to send to me. And that made me realize I'm not the first person they scammed. They're going around scamming people in Dubai, faking lawyers to get more money, but something doesn't smell right. And then he sent me another message asking me to retract what I said about his wife. I said, how am I supposed to retract it? I did not say it publicly. I said it between me and you. I tell you that I think your wife is complicit in something. I'm telling you my opinion. I did not go on social media and say that your wife did that. I was just speaking between me and you. He told me even though it's a private conversation, it's still a violation of the Dubai Penal Code. And he told me to never speak on this again. And so this is why I haven't been speaking about this. But I waited till 8 months to talk about it because I know there are people who want to come out to Dubai. I know there are people who follow these people. He's a huge influencer. And I know you probably think, oh, it's just $7,000. How about you multiply $7,000 by 100? The scam is really big. It's not just me. They're scamming almost everybody in your Dubai program. I'm not the only one who's calling this guy a scam. If you Google his course on Trustpilot, a lot of people are referring to him as a scam. I now have blocked all of them. I want nothing to do with them. I have totally lost respect for them. So I was like, I'm gonna do this video when I calm down so I can share with people the stuff that they need to take. Now, as for me, I have survived getting scammed, right? I am coaching. I have students who I'm teaching how to do short-term rentals in the States. You know, I'm doing incredibly well. Last month I woke up and I made $10,000 in one day with my coaching program. I started coaching last year at the same time that I started in Dubai. My very first mentee, signed up with me last year. She made $370,000 this year. I have different sources of streams of income, but some people may not be able to survive. So I want you to know that if you have business with these people, if you're taking courses with them, I've given you enough hints for you to know what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you their Trustpilot review so you know that I'm not just saying this to get back at anyone. That's not my style anyway. Now, for those of you who want to go out to Dubai, who are not from UAE, who are not residents in UAE, who don't own a property in UAE, you're going to have to do the steps that I did unless you want to have a property manager manage your property. One person I could refer you to, Mohammed. He is an amazing Uber driver I met while I was there. He took me around to local places, me and my son. Give them your info.
058-5878-404. But actually, you might need to put the country code if you're from out of state. So 971-5858-78-404.
Yep. So there's a silver lining at the end of this crazy story. You can hire Mohammed, who's trustworthy, who understands U.S. culture, who understands Americans because he lived here, who also understands UAE culture and how things are done there. And you could ask him to take you to these offices for a fee. I don't know what Mohammed costs because I did not ask Mohammed to pay me to say his name. I am just saying Mohammed's name because he was the one lifesaver I had in Dubai who helped me while I was there. I just happened to meet him while I was there, and he was such an amazing person. He took me and my son to IKEA to go shopping. He took us to the flea market so we could get furniture for the property. He helped us bring furniture back. He told us where we can file a complaint against these people. When I told him what happened, he said, Martine, you need to go to e-crimes and file a complaint against them. I did not file a complaint with e-crimes against them. I threatened to do that, but I didn't. But now I'm sharing this video with you so that you stay away from these people. It's not just $7,000, it's $7,000 times the thousands of people who are paying $7,000 to them. And so that's my experience in Dubai. I live to tell the story. How's the property doing? The property did very well during busy season. Our first guest came November 29th. I was actually there to welcome him and say, hey, you're our first guest. And that was so exciting. My best performing month was in February. We made over $6,000. So we made a profit. We've been making about $1,000 profit. We pretty much broke even in Dubai with that property. But all in all, it was the experience of having an international business. I am not going to be renewing the lease because I found a better market, because St. Louis is a much better market than Dubai. Believe it or not, I never thought I would be saying that. If you want to get started in short-term rentals and you are in the States, I have a coaching program. You can follow me on social media. If you want to get started in Dubai, I have given you enough information that you can get your documents on your own. I hope you have been entertained by my crazy scamming story in Dubai. I am going to shut it down right now. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting more about the St. Louis market, more about the Houston market, more about my travels around the world and starting up businesses in different places. And I hope that you learn from that. Everything is a learning experience. So so basically, if you're going out there, I hope this video has helped you, because that's why I made this video. That's why it took me so long. Anyway, have a great evening. Ciao, ciao.